So there was an iPhone that came out a couple of years ago that I truly hated, and with the iPhone SE3's release, I don't hate the iPhone SE3, I just think it's way overpriced, and it really reminded me of an iPhone like the one I'm going to talk about, which I felt the same exact way about, and I was completely wrong, unlike this specific situation where I don't really think I'm going to be too wrong at, and that phone was the iPhone XR. When this iPhone came out, beyond than just making videos back in 2018 about it and kind of overhyping my hatred towards it, I truly felt like that was such a waste of money, and it was such a weird device that Apple made. It was pretty much more expensive than a lot of iPhones that they made at that point, and it was a watered down iPhone 10. It had a newer chipset in it, which was cool, but I wasn't a fan of the way Apple was approaching it. And the one thing that ended up happening was that Apple took price decrease after price decrease of this iPhone, and that ended up making this iPhone a much better deal in my opinion. Now, compared to an iPhone 10, the XR had a single camera setup, an IPS panel, which was pretty weird at the time, going from an OLED that the iPhone 10 had, but it was being a successor to the iPhone 8 Plus in a way. But even that iPhone was a downgrade in some ways. I mean, the iPhone 8 Plus had a dual camera setup, the XR had a single camera setup, that iPhone 8 Plus had a 1080p panel, the XR had like a 750p panel on it, so that was quite a bit of a difference and a downgrade in some areas. But I will tell you, the XR ended up getting, I guess, so much better throughout time, and once the iPhone 11 came out and that iPhone XR went down to $599, that made that iPhone a much better deal. That was another one of those big price gaps and price drops that we saw Apple do, and I think that made the iPhone XR a much better deal in so many different ways. That iPhone was not a good or tremendous $749 iPhone, but it was a good $600 iPhone, and it was a great $500 iPhone, and now it's actually a really good sub $300 phone if you can get your hands on it. And I say that to say, even if an iPhone, is the best iPhone in the world, or even if it, compared to the market, if it's a really good phone and, it kind of lacks in some areas that we don't really need, like 120 hertz display and OLED display and all those other things, the price of these phones when compared to the, competition, even in its own lineup, like the iPhone XS and XS Max in this time, it really plays a huge effect on how you perceive this iPhone and whether you want to pick it up or not, and whether if it's a good iPhone or not. And the same exact thing is going on with the SE3, and it's the best way I can describe it. The SE3 is not a bad iPhone. It's kind of weird in some areas, but it's not like, oh my god, like this phone is horrible or anything like that. But when you consider that Apple increased the price tag from its, predecessor, and even that iPhone was overpriced, it puts this iPhone in a weird situation. They're still going to make a ton of money off it and people are going to buy it, but I don't know. I feel like the price really dictates on how great of an iPhone it is, whether it's, mental or whatever, and that's just kind of how I think about it. So that's kind of it. If you guys have any questions or anything, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you guys enjoyed the video, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.